Hi, happy Manga Monday. Today I'm going to be talking about a manga called Undead Unluck. And you start off the chapter where you're following this 18, 17-year-old girl, and she's about to jump off a bridge into an oncoming train because she wants to die. And there's a huge crowd around her. They're telling her she has a lot to live for. And she basically is like, no, I need to die. And they try to stop her. Like, people are starting to approach her to grab her and physically stop her from jumping. And she pulls out a knife and she says, "Don't touch me. I have an incurable disease and you will get it if you touch me." Now, from the crowd comes this really tall, muscular guy, and he approaches her, and as she's not paying attention because she's looking for the train because she notices she misses one, as she has this knife, this guy actually walks into the knife, causing her to stab him in the stomach. Now, she has no intention of hurting anyone, so when this happens, she is very shocked and just can't believe she stabbed someone accidentally, even though he did it on purpose. Now, he reaches for her face and he starts touching her, saying, "Oh, you have an incurable disease. Like, I want it because I want to die." Like, what an interesting way to die. And she pushes him away and gets him off and is like, "You don't understand. Like, bad things will happen if you touch me. I'm very unlucky." And he doesn't necessarily believe her. And she tells him, like, the unluck is coming. She takes a couple steps away from him, and all of a sudden the cement on the bridge that's holding him up crumbles, and he falls straight down and gets hit by a train. Basically, his body, like, explodes because of how fast the train is going. It's just like, just gone. She feels awful that this just random dude dies because of her unluck. So she forgets about committing suicide and she runs down to the train track to see if he's even possibly alive, or just, I don't know. She just runs down there to see what happened, I guess. But while she's there, the police are already in front of the stopped train and they can't find the body. And as she goes to walk away, a head, like a literal head, starts to roll towards her, and she is terrified. Once the head actually faces her and tries talking to her, she realizes it's the crazy guy who was touching her face and fell in front of the train. He is still alive. And not only that, but his body starts to regenerate itself from his head down. So she is legitimately scared. She freaks out. She calls him a zombie. She punches him and she takes off running because this is crazy and unreal. Now, he catches her and angrily is telling her, like, "I'm not a zombie. Those things are disgusting. I'm undead. I cannot die." He is completely naked, mind you. Whenever he dies and he regens and comes back to life, he comes back completely in the nude. So as he's standing there, holding her, trying to get her to understand that he's undead and not a zombie, other bystanders and, like, people walking by see this and think he's a weirdo, like, trying to sexually assault her. So they're calling for the cops to come and arrest him, basically. So he grabs her and he power hops from, like, building to building, like, up the building onto a skyscraper and drops her down and is like, "You tell me how you're unlucky and how it works. Like, I want to die. So you seem to be the best option for me to die." And initially she refuses because she doesn't want anyone to get hurt because of her unluck. So he grabs her and he literally swings her over the edge of the skyscraper until she's just like, "I'm sorry, I'll tell you everything I know." He puts her down. She ends up spilling the beans about, like, how when she was 8 or 10 years old, her parents were going on a vacation and they were hugging and kissing her, and within 10 minutes as their plane took off, it exploded. And that's when her unluck began. So basically anyone who touches her skin for even a little bit amount of time, like, how long people touch her skin makes the unluck, like, if they touch her for a little bit of amount of time, the unluck isn't as bad as if they touch her for, like, a long amount of time. So this guy basically is like, he'll fondle her and, like, just hold on to her and, like, touch her to see how long it takes for him to touch her to get the severity of the severity of the unluck. Unfortunately, also during part of this process, they end up getting like kidnapped, and in order to escape, she has to do like the most unlucky thing she can to him, or what will cause the most unluck, to get them out of the situation. So she ends up kissing him on the cheek, and a meteor comes down from outer space and causes a big explosion. He lives. Like, this guy is like impossible to kill. I'm only 20 chapters in, and there's a lot to the story aside from him being undead and keeps regenerating, and her being unlucky. He like I said, his main goal is to die, and now her main goal is to pretty much stay with him to stay alive and to help him find a way to die. But in their process of doing this, there's actually people who are now hunting them and trying to track them down to kill them. But in order for them to live, they need to kill members of this organization and take their seats. So there is more to the story in just them trying to find a way to have him die. And it does get more complex along the way. So far, there isn't any sex, but there is, like I said, he will literally like grope her boobs to get her unluck. There's no rape. There is violence because there is a lot of fighting, but it's not like, I don't know, I don't really see it like a super blood and gore, because it's not like wolf guy blood and gore. So there is some gore, but it's not as bad as some other mangas I've read. So it's kind of up there. Either way, though, there is a lot of humor mixed in with it as well, and kind of a little romance. So far, it's like a pretty slow burn romance, but still very good. If you have any chance to read this manga, I would highly recommend it. Also, I need to give a shout out to my friend Nitwitz for recommending me this manga a while ago, actually, when we first started talking, and I only read the first chapter, and now I'm finally getting more into it. I actually took the time to read it, so thank you for recommending it for me. If you want to see his videos, there will be a link in the description. He does stuff on anime as well as comics, so you could take a look at that. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.